Welcome back. We're now on to week 1, video 2, and this is all about knowing your best client. In this video, you're actually going to get to build out your best client and be able to refer back in times of uncertainty. Getting you away from price shoppers is key to getting you in front of people who actually want to be your client, people who want to be taken seriously with the results that they dream of. It's easy to be broad, not in your client's head. For example, you could be saying something on your Instagram page or story, something like, I offer hair extensions now, or look at me, I'm in this training for hair extensions. That's not enough, but I'm going to show you what is. I want you to pay attention to these 3 things you're going to learn in this video. Why you should know your best client, how to do a homework overview so that you can remember everything that you learn, and also create recognition for your hair extension business. Your goal is to get low-cost leads, and the way we do this is getting inside of your client with short, thin hair and how they feel and what they're thinking about. Knowing your best client is so important because your clients are attracted to what you're creating. If you are creating long-lasting work, you're also going to attract clients who want to achieve long-lasting results. So we're going to lay the foundation of your new and improved business as the best client you've ever taken. As we open up your client's mind, you're going to stop everything you're doing, no promoting, until you know exactly what your best client is thinking. How many people have you spoken to that actually have short, thin, fine hair? The more people that you've spoken to in this situation, the easier it is to attract your best client. Have you ever felt moved by someone's message as if they were magically in your head? This is how you want your new client to feel. For example, in your Facebook ad, you're mentioning something like how frustrating it's been to have gone years and not be able to grow out your hair. You suddenly find a solution that can make you feel completely confident overnight versus the 4, 5, 6 years it takes you to actually get the length that they're going for, and your client's going to resonate with that. I really want you to understand why other stylists are failing in this area of marketing so that you know exactly what not to do. You're really going to succeed when you push on a client's pain point. For instance, they've been holding themselves back because they don't want to stand in front of a meeting room because of the way their hair looks, or when they're taking a shower and their husband walks in, they're like hurrying up and covering because they don't feel beautiful. So when a lead says, I don't do anything for myself, I've given everything to my family and my business, you want to have them elaborate more on that. So you'll say something like, can I actually ask you a personal question? And they'll say, yeah. How has putting everything into your family and your business actually impacted you individually? They're going to open up with you, and this is how you're going to have those meaningful conversations, because your goal is to be respected and noticed, and you do that by keeping yourself focused on that one service that is completely transformative and typically the highest ticket. I can't stress enough how important it is to be specialized, because you are going to create systems that you use over and over and over again. And the more simple you can create your system, the easier your day-to-day life is. So when your clients ask you, can hair extensions look natural in my hair too? You already have an automatic response to them. This directly correlates to if a man is going after 2 girls, right? He's likely not going to get either of them because he's not focused on one. Here's your homework. Spend as much time answering these questions as you can and add as much detail as you possibly can. I'm going to read some of the questions off to you, and I also created an example, but I want you to go into even further detail than me. So what is the biggest result you can help your client achieve? The example that I wrote, feeling sexy again, doing something for themselves, self-love, or feeling younger. Again, the more time you take to answer these questions, the more you will connect with your best client. Another example, the biggest result I could help my client achieve is thinking about, like, what if they did stand up in a meeting and have a great idea and get a raise because they actually felt beautiful and confident enough to stand in front of the room. Create these scenarios and think of all the possible ways they could be feeling already before you ask. Set a timer for these time slots. For 40 minutes, you're going to describe your favorite client that you've ever worked with. Even longer if you want to be more successful. An example of a client that I absolutely loved working with, her name is Mackenzie. She has a busy life. She lacks a little bit of confidence in herself and her beauty, but overall she's extremely sweet. She's beautiful, and she has been a dedicated client. Meaning if she's sick or not feeling well, she pays for the entire service if she has to cancel the day of. She's done that. She's tipped $500 before, doing things to build the relationship. Think about your client is worried about blank. They are humiliated by blank. So for example, my client Mackenzie is worried about her extensions not looking natural, and she'd be humiliated if when she goes on her date in Texas, if her natural hair is not blending to her extensions or if the bonds are showing. And now lastly, our 50-minute question: what is the biggest problem your best client had, and why was it important to resolve for them? So here's an example. Her hair was bleached, so it started breaking, and she felt a change in her confidence and identity. Now, writing this out in detail and giving multiple examples is going to do nothing but attract the client that you want. Actively thinking about how valuable solving this problem for your client is only going to help you and build your confidence. How bad could things become if your best client doesn't lengthen or thicken their hair today? To name a few scenarios that often happen in this situation, number 1, your client is addicted to getting color services and heat styling, and it's causing her natural hair to break off. So if she were to get hair extensions, she would be putting majority of the heat styling onto the extensions and not so much her natural hair. Now, it's important for your best client to start thinking about what would be the cost of her staying the same. It's true that the best business people turn what they are selling into a future. Think through the top 3 things that frustrate your client every day. Are they annoyed that their hair changes shape after going out in the humidity? For example, I had a school teacher named Carmen whose hair was naturally very curly. It would shrink up and look very short, almost making her feel like her hair was shrinking up into a ball. She felt less feminine. So in this case, what Carmen wants more than anything else is to be able to go outside in the humidity and her hair is actually still long, vivacious, it looks healthy, and she just feels super feminine. So now that you've listened really deeply with your client, you know what they want more than anything else. You need to write this down, because if you skip this as a hair extension professional, you could stay in the same position yourself. If you take your time with this, not only will you get to see all the people you help's future unfold, but you'll get to see your future unfold as well. Imagine being in your client's shoes. What would you do if you had shorter, thinner hair than you wanted? What would you do if they came to you to get hair extensions? I've been in my client's shoes before. I felt that lack of confidence from having thinner, shorter hair than what I actually wanted. I sought the professional and I absolutely knew what to do next. So when my clients ask, I share this with them. Remember, the reason you're asking yourself these questions is because this is how you're going to validate your offer. The sooner you get this done, the sooner we can put this out into the marketplace. Ask yourself, what is the biggest mistake your current client is making related to short, thin hair? I'll give you an example. They're busy with work, so they're in a rush on their way out the door, and they're brushing through their hair rigorously every day when they leave. Instead of gently brushing and braiding their hair before bed, maybe listening to some relaxation music and using this as a way to cool and calm down for the day. Now, that's just one mistake they could be making. Now you think of the others. Work with me on this and pause this video between each question. Is your lead going for the cheapest option available? Are they over-processing their hair? These are things that you want to ask yourself as a professional. These are questions to ask yourself so that you can know your market. And if you know your client's problem better than anyone else, you're automatically someone who can help them. Before I release you to take your time and answer these questions on your own, I'm going to share a few words of encouragement with you because you probably follow a lot of hair extension specialists. know that there's a cosmetologist that's newly licensed every single day. She's doing her highlight for the first time every single day. There is a person without experience that is currently messing up someone's hair as we speak. The extension business is always going to be around. It's always going to be needed. And people want to feel beautiful. They want to feel confident.